Hey everybody, Jim Ingersoll here with the Real Estate Success Podcast, and I'm super happy to have you with me. You can see my smiling guest if you're on YouTube with me right now, because Jon Washington is an awesome dude. And by the way, he's smiling because he just cashed a huge assignment check as a wholesaler that will make anybody smile. Am I right, Jon?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
A few days ago, Jon, we're just going to dig in. A few days ago, somebody asked me, how much can a wholesaler make, right? Everyone wants to know. And first thing I said is the only people that really post their checks on Facebook and all that are the people that are either just starting or they're a little insecure. But I mean, the answer is, like, to me anyways, it's like, it depends how good of a deal it is.
Right.
And that drives the amount of the assignment check. So earlier this year or late last year, I worked with somebody near LA and they made like a $75,000 assignment fee. That's a lot of money, man.
Wow. Wow.
But if you're like in the Midwest, then you might make 5,000 or 2,000 once in a while, or whatever the number is in between. But it all comes back to like how motivated that seller is, and then how strong your buyer's list is to be able to take that deal. And then you just cash a check in the middle as a wholesaler is a pretty sweet spot, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Absolutely.
All right. So that's the fast forward snippet I'm giving everybody for the podcast today. Now I want to go back to like where this journey began. Jon, where did you grow up?
Well, I grew up in the east end of Richmond in a neighborhood called Fulton Hill.
Oh, love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was born and raised in Fulton Hill. Pretty much been there all my life, either in Fulton or just outside of it, east end, where I go around the area.
I love that area. I work that area all the time. And lately, well, I just did a flip on National Street and we did one on Euclid, and I've been buying some rentals over that way as well. I really like that area. There's a lot going on over there right now.
Yeah, I didn't know you bought that one on Euclid. I've been trying to get that house since I started.
The one on the corner?
Yeah, well, if I'm not mistaken, there's the one on the corner, and then there's two more that's like boarded right beside it. The one on the corner, is that the brick one?
Yes.
Yeah, and there's two more that's boarded beside it. I've been trying to get them.
No, the ones next to it are not boarded, so it might be a different block. But
okay.
I bought that one. I worked with Doug Hatcher on that one. And it was probate, by the way.
Wow. I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, it's all right. That's cool. Yeah, I do like those neighborhoods a lot. I love them, actually. Yeah. And there's some nice little apartment complexes up and down Williamsburg Road I'd like to go after as well. They're great little areas.
Right.
So you grew up like in East Richmond, Virginia.
Yep.
You grew up there. You went to school there. And then when you were growing up, like, what did you want to be? Did you want to be an astronaut? Did you want to be a realtor, a wholesaler? I mean...
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe elementary school. I used to like dinosaurs. So I wanted to be an archaeologist. Was the original thing, when you were a kid. But I mean, growing up, like high school, I never really gave it much thought. I kind of had this idea. I knew I wanted to get into real estate because I don't remember where I got the bug from. Some older guy told me a long time ago, if you want to make any money, you get into real estate and you buy rental properties. I don't even remember who this guy was, but I knew I wanted to do that. And I just, I didn't really know how I was going to do it, but I didn't know I wanted to do it. So that's kind of...
You're still a young man and you're super successful now, so congratulations. But how old were you when you started having those ideas, like that you met this guy and he put this thought in your head, like you could do well in real estate? How old were you? Maybe
19 or 20 years old.
Ooh, nice and young.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I didn't start because I thought I needed a lot of money first.
Yeah.
So I had this whole scheme was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this landscaping business and I'm gonna cut grass and do landscaping and build up enough money to start buying rental properties. But it didn't turn out that way.
So you had like this entrepreneurial spirit way back then when you were just a young man and you started this landscaping business?
Oh yeah, well, it wasn't a landscaping business per se, but I mean, as a kid, I cut grass in the neighborhood, shovel snow, all that type of stuff. I had the type of parent. My mom would be, if I'd ask my mom for something, can I have this? She's like, you can have whatever you like if you work for it and you got the money for it. So that was her answer. So I had to go out and rake leaves or whatever the case was, so we can get a few bucks so we can go and grab whatever it was we wanted.
So you did that throughout the eastern side of Richmond, and then you started, raking leaves and cutting grass and plowing snow and all that fun neighbor stuff. How did you, and you heard about real estate, but you had this perception like we all do, especially at 19. It's like, I would love to do that, but my checkbook says nope.
Right. So I was 19. I think I moved out. I've been out of my mom's house about a year. So I got my first apartment. I was like 19 and 20 years old. Wow. And it kind of just went to the back of my mind because I was just working and paying bills, up until about, I want to say about 2005, 2006 maybe, is when it kind of picked back, the ball kind of picked back up. I ran across my barber. Guy just left the barbershop, Darren Johnson's barbershop. I just left his barbershop, and at the time there was an MLM that was crossed with real estate investing. So they were teaching people stuff, how to wholesale, and a couple more strategies. But that's where I got in at. It was entry level, how to wholesale. So that's pretty much how I got started.
So you picked it up at the barbershop. You got a haircut, and it changed your life.
Right, pretty much.
I want to talk a little bit about network marketing, because I remember a post you had on Facebook pretty recently where you had somebody approach you about doing some MLM stuff, and you told them you're not going to go that direction. You're going to do your own gig in real estate. And he thought you were crazy, right? Right.
Yeah. I guess he thought it was a dumb decision for whatever reason. Well, I guess because my decision wasn't going to make him money. I guess that was the reason he thought it was a dumb decision. But yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, man. I thought he would be, because it was one of these guys in these MLMs. They talk real good, and they champion you on. So I thought it would be like, oh man, cool, do your thing. But he was more so condescending with his response. So it kind of rubbed me the wrong way, but I kept it for motivation. Like, okay, really, I'll show you one day.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
Yeah, that's a terrible attitude to have, but yeah, that's what it was,
Hey, we all have little motivation points, so that's okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, at this point, do you agree that you've done a lot better with real estate than if you joined that network marketing?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I never made $1 network marketing. Now, I've gotten sales. I've never made $1. But absolutely.
So let's go back to the barbershop. So you left the barbershop, you started the site. Yep. Then that led to your first time you heard about wholesaling. What did you think? Like, is this real?
No, I was excited because I realized that I didn't have to go and make all this money and come up with all this cash to get into real estate. Like, the whole principle intrigued me. I was like, wow, I can do this. So I was just amazed at how simple it was. Explaining, of course, is simple. Like, the actual practice is simple. So I was just amazed at how simple it was. I was like, yeah, okay, I can do this, no problem. So yeah, that pretty much started my journey of trying to get it done.
And how old were you when you started like going after that first wholesaling deal? Like, how long ago was that?
That was into 2007, 2008.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. I didn't pursue the business as diligently as I should have from the beginning. Yeah. And I mean, when you're a one-man show, it burns you. I won't even say that, because I've sent thousands of postcards. I used to drive for dollars every day. I found some of my old lead sheets that I used to have in my old file cabinet. I had like a stack of leads like this big.
Follow up?
Yeah. Well, that's one thing. I wasn't following up, for one. So I'm pretty sure, I lost a lot of money that way. But I guess just inexperience and not just knowing, what to do and what to say. I get there, I get on the appointment, and, I look around, and, of course I was scared to make an offer on it. But, just an experience, I guess. I don't know.
How did you find your first deal? Do you remember? That's a long time ago. That's like the same time I started wholesaling, John. So I know it was a long time ago.
Yeah. Now, look at this. Now, I started going after them and getting them under contract. Well, I got in 2007, and then the market crashed 2008. So I was pretty much right back out of business. So then I started another company in 2010, which is the one I have now, and struggled with it for about I think the end of 2012 is when I did my first deal, when I came around to do my first deal. So, I mean, I struggled with it for a long time. You know, but like I said, I just didn't pursue it as diligently as I should.
I appreciate the fact that you said you struggled, because people look at you and, you know, you're really successful now, and they do it to me as well, Jon. They just think like there's never been a struggle, like there's never been a challenge, never been an obstacle. It's just like we did all this stuff, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, the whole process, I mean, the whole personality, like, you know, when I first started this business, like, you know, to open up and talk to you like you're doing now, I probably couldn't even do that. I probably would have hid for you for a whole year before I got on here on camera.
Me too.
So it took a whole lot of growth before I could actually get to that point where I could do it. So, I mean, I saw it was easy and all that stuff, but then I realized within myself, it took a whole lot of growth to get to that point that I can actually do it. So I was kind of an introvert, you know?
Yeah, well, so I'm a recovering introvert as well. My wife Cheryl laughs when I tell her that, but it is just a fact. Like, you've seen me at my boot camps. Like, I can speak to hundreds of people, no problem. And if it's with somebody like you and I go to lunch, we're just going to hang out and talk real estate's good. But like, if I'm in a group of, say, 3 people and I don't know any of the 3, I'm like, oh, just let me out of here.
Yeah. I might even start sweating, man. I'm just like, yeah.
I'm the same way. I understand. I'm working on it. So you had a gap from the barber shop to your first wholesale deal. How did you get that first one going, and how did that go?
Actually, I had a website online, and it actually came through online, an online lead. And this one ended up being a short sale. So I just referred it to one of the local guys here, Chris, and just did it that way. Yeah, awesome. Chris Jefferson. Yeah, that was the one on what was that street? I can't remember the street now, but it was a huge deal, man. It was nice, really nice area. I can't remember the street now. It's crazy, but that's crazy. I can't remember it right now.
So that was the first one. Made some money. You sold it to Chris Jefferson, which is awesome. Chris is a cool guy, and I remember when I first started. So that brings back a lot of memories as well. And then did it like click and you're like, I can do this? Or did it take some more, you know, struggles and trials and things along the way?
Well, it did. Well, it clicked that I can do this, but you know, if I was kind of selling myself short at first, I was like doing like small assignments. Yeah. Stuff like this, $1,000, $1,500, stuff like that. Right. And, you know, I was working too. So, you know, a couple grand here and there, you know, it's all right. You know, it would help out. So what was going on with that though is, you know, I'll make a few grand and then I would stop marketing. Right. I would, you know, right. So then once the money starts drying up, I'm like, okay, I got to get back to this thing. But it just doesn't work like that. I basically have to rebuild all that momentum again. Yeah. And it was kind of, I don't know, I guess maybe like a feast and famine over, you know, for a long time. Roller coasters. Yeah. Right. Just this roller coaster thing. And then finally, what ended up happening was we ended up buying a house in 2014. And I moved out of Verona and I ended up having my son in 2015. So I kind of had to put it on the back end for a few years, you know, dealing with my son and, you know, the new house. I didn't have my office space. It just wasn't set up. Just going through, I have a hard time going through changes. When we make changes too, I have a hard time readjusting. So just had to readjust. So this time around when I came back in, it's about was it last year we did that deal last June. So I picked it up seriously, I guess, about the last year and a half or so. And was just like, okay, I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to stop till they got a deal. I'm just going to keep going with it. I'm going to start following up with people because I would notice that I would talk to people. I would build a good rapport with them. And I wouldn't follow up and I look and, you know, 6-7 months later, the house would be sold for less than what I would have offered them. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was like, I just got to take the business serious and start, doing the things that are going to make a difference in the business, and not so much the busy work, but actually stuff that's going to, generate business for me, so I can make some money.
Sure. So I always say the best F word in real estate is follow up, and the worst F word in real estate is fear. And you've talked about that in limiting beliefs as well. Like I'm only allowed to make $3,000 or $4,000 on an assignment fee. So the self-limiting belief, but sometimes you can do a lot better, as we talked about a minute ago. How did you overcome some of those fears when you were getting things ramped back up?
It was at the point where it's either I'm going to do it or not. It was just like, I just had to get serious with myself and just like, you're either going to do it or not. And that's just what it was. I just did it. And just whatever it is, I just do it. That was my approach to it. Just do it. Scared or not, just do it.
Make the offer. Just get out there, start making offers, right?
Yeah, knock on the door, whatever it is. Just do it. Pick up the phone, because I was even scared to make phone calls at first. And, like now it's no problem. I call them no problem. But I was scared to make phone.
Right?
Yeah, this is it. This is the truth. That's it. That's how I got this last deal we just did. That's all I did.
Yep.
I went to the court building. I got an address. 411 them, and I called them, and then I kept calling them, because that guy was busy. That last guy, I think he works for FEMA. That deal we just did, so he's always out
in Puerto Rico, Jon.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he works in Puerto Rico.
Right, works in Puerto Rico. Yeah, for FEMA. Yeah. So I had to keep following up with him, and one of the things he said was, he was like, you've been patient with me, you've been real persistent. So I'm going to go ahead and, work with you, so just that follow up, just that aspect of being persistent with it and being patient with it, people see that and they'll do business with you.
Let's talk about that deal. So you went to Richmond City, you go to the courthouse, you park, pay all that money for parking, such a hassle, right?
Yeah, to a whole $2.
There you go. And then, so you walk in, where do you go in the courthouse when you do this? You go to the records room?
Yep, and in Richmond it's downstairs records room.
Yep.
So you go to records room. You can ask the lady at the desk when you come in if you don't know the door. But what I generally do is I just call before I get there and just kind of get a general idea of where I'm going. Just go to the records room. They'll set you up. And this was another thing. I actually tried to do the probate when I first started, but you get answers. Sometimes the people that work in the records room aren't that friendly. So they'll tell you, oh, you can't do that, or you need to know a name, or, whatever the case. They don't feel like showing you, so, basically tell you, go away. But I went, and I never went back until last year. So it took like 5 or 6 years for me to go back in there, but it was like overcoming those fears. I was like, I didn't want to go through there and be looking around and not knowing what I was doing and all that type of stuff. I just went ahead and faced it and just went and did it.
So when you go into the records room, what advice do you have somebody? You just tell them you're looking for some, probate records and ask them if they can help? Or do you have any tips there?
Yeah, well, you can say, you can ask them, you need to see probate records for, just have a time frame, like the last 30 days or the last 60 days. They might actually do a name. You're like, no, I need to see all of them. And some of them, like I said, some of them are real nice, and some of them, some will help you. And they'll just tell you how to navigate the system. And then from there, once you figure out how to navigate the system, it's pretty much a wrap from there.
Right.
It's pretty.
So then do you sit there with a records book, or do you do it online?
No, it's all online.
Yeah.
I haven't had the experience of going through records books yet. All the ones have been online that I've been through.
And you just write down the property address, the executor, and the name and address, and once in a while you might even get a phone number.
Yeah, depending on what locality you're in, you can get a phone number. Richmond doesn't give you a phone number, so you got to write down all that stuff and then do a little detective work.
Yep.
But the surrounding counties.
You skip trace them. You could mail them a letter, whatever you want to do.
Right.
All right, I love it. And I've watched you interact with sellers quite a few times now, and you do a really good job. I think you legitimately care about the people you're working with. And for me, that's
Absolutely.
like an instant way to really build actual genuine rapport. I think when building rapport, it's important that you make the conversation more about the person you're working with than yourself. I'm just saying,
Absolutely.
compliment, like you do that naturally. I think you generally care about the people you're buying houses from.
Yes. I mean, I think you have to, because basically, these people are letting you into their life. They're basically laying their problems on your shoulders. So, I mean, to me, you would have to be able to make a decision that's going to, be good for them. So that you'll be able to make some money off of it. Making some money off of it is second. I got a deal right now. I'm probably not going to make any money off of it on 9 Mile Road, but I just want to help them out. But that's actually making money is probably going to be the second thing. I want to, solving their problem is the biggest issue.
Love it. I agree with that completely. I do, totally. All right, so let's go back. Like a year ago, you were just doing a little bit of deal flow here and there, kind of inconsistently. And then you came to our boot camp at the beginning of the year. And after that, man, you were like focused and highly motivated. And all of a sudden your assignment fees are growing and your deal flow is growing. What happened with all that?
Well, it's kind of, it seems like it just was like overnight at the boot camp, but it's kind of that push from last year. Like I said, when I started taking it serious. Yeah. And like I went through a few rough months. We did that deal in June. I went through like July, August, and September. I was getting them on the contract, and just the situation wasn't working. You remember that one lady we had, and they were just falling apart for whatever the reason. So I went through a few months of that. Man, I got beat up pretty bad. So I think coming back when we did that one on Chimborazo, and I was like, finally. And then when I got to the boot camp, like coming back, it was just seeing all the faces and hearing the stories and just knowing that everybody is struggling at something in this thing. Nobody is not a cakewalk for anybody. That just was kind of like, okay. So, this is what it is. Just pick yourself up and just keep going. So, and then, like I said, a lot of that push was from last year. A lot of it was follow up too. I've been talking to these guys, to the guy we did on this last one we did. I've been talking to him since October. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So you're like very focused now. Do you agree? Like you want deal flow. Do you have like a goal for this year on what your deal flow should look like?
Actually, I don't. And I know it sounds crazy, but I don't. To me, the goals are just personal, like just making sure I do what I need to do on a daily basis to keep
that's a good
to keep the business.
Because, it's the little things that we repeat every day, like having the discipline to block time in our schedule just to call people and look for deals. Because that leads to your deal flow. So I think you do have goals, it sounds like, which I love. And I hear one of them in the background. That keeps you motivated too, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's him. Let me grab him. Hey,
I like the fact, Jon, that you were able to bring your son to the boot camp and hang out with us. That was good. I enjoyed that. No, it's good.
Yeah,
I'm really glad you were able to bring him and hang out at our boot camp with him as well.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. That's pretty much what it is. And that was another obstacle too.
If you
say again, I'm sorry.
Something bad enough, you'll find a way. Otherwise, you'll find an excuse. So you got to go into the room. You saw Max Maxwell and those guys.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
And so do you have any advice for like a new wholesaler that's just sort of starting out and trying to figure out if this thing is legit and whether they can really pull it off?
Yeah. What the biggest piece of advice is going to be, find someone that's actually doing the business and maybe model off them a little bit. Because you're still going to have to do your own thing. Right. But maybe model off them a little bit to learn the basics. And once you get those basics, I mean, it's like the free throw and the layup. Do it every day. Do it consistently. Follow up all the time. If you're in this business and you're not following up, you're just wasting your time. It's like planting a field full of crops and then just walking off and leaving it to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, that's going to be the biggest thing. Stay consistent, and with your lead generation, follow up with your leads all the time. Set up a follow up schedule. Don't bug the people every single day, but set up a schedule where you're following up with these people consistently and staying in touch with them. And that's probably going to be the biggest things, because that's been what's helped me out the most in this last year. So just to follow up.
If people are looking for deals and they block out time in their schedule every day to do some lead generation and marketing, some time to do some follow-up, and then some time to go meet with sellers, that they'll start to connect the dots and get some deal flow?
Right. And I know it's hard when people work, because, in the wintertime, it's tough to drive. You probably got 1 or 2 days out of the week, Saturday and Sunday, you can drive because it gets dark quick. And in the summertime, you only got a few hours during the week. So I know it's tough when you're working. My biggest advice to them is going to be whatever time block you can get, you block as much time as you can out for yourself and your business, and actually do, whether it's driving for dollars, whether it's, because if you work, you can't even get to the probate court to get probate leads. So that knocks out a lot of competition for me. But, I mean, whatever it is that you're doing to generate leads, set that time up and just do it, and make sure that you're doing it. Just, I guess, set your schedule and just make sure that you're doing it. That's the biggest thing. Stay consistent. That's the biggest thing. Do it. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just do it. Just do it.
John, you've got a great smile, and I'm glad you share it. So
thank you. Thank you, Jim.
I'm really happy for you. To see you successful and doing so well makes me really happy. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, John, I want to thank you for being my guest today. I've really enjoyed this thoroughly and genuinely. So congrats, and I look forward to doing some more stuff with you later this year.
Yes, sir. Thanks, Jim, for having me. You have a great day.